passionate about. Are you happy? Are you really happy? Do you trust your own instinct? What is your perception of God? Are you the best version of yourself? This is Conversations We Never Had, hosted by Wendy. Who is Ella?
See, that's quite a tricky question, but my profession is I make clothes,
Yes.
I'm a designer, and then as a person I'm probably always wanted to be invisible and a background person. I don't really like the limelight.
Yeah. And today we're just putting you on.
Yes,
The limelight.
which is tricky.
Thank you though for agreeing.
Yeah.
What is the one thing that people don't know about you but you're actually sure of?
Oh, sure of.
Yes.
Oh, I believe in, perhaps not everybody knows it, but I'm quite open to share it with people.
Yeah.
Is I believe in self-salvation, that I believe in myself and that I believe that I'm the only person that can help myself.
Yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
That's something very interesting that a lot of our guests have touched on.
Yeah.
Some have said recognize themselves as God, but we're going to speak about that a little bit later.
Yeah,
what makes you happy?
Oh, I would say having lots of free time. Yeah.
Makes you happy?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too.
I definitely think to have just a day where you don't have to come to the party, that you just could just have my own time on my own and enjoy. So that's for me the best thing.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you find it easy to be positive?
Most of the time. I think you have to get up in a positive mood and you have to try your best every day. So yes, I come from I think a very conservative background, and I think I think it's all about getting up every day and start again and do the best you can every day. Yeah.
What do you think people perceive you as when they see you? And probably they might be wrong as well.
Yeah. I think I do put out that I'm never negative. Most people will say that I'm kind and I'm good and those kind of things. So then I would tell them, no, I'm not kind and I'm not good.
Why?
Because I think deep down, I don't believe in saving other people. I really believe that every person must make an effort to save themselves. So I would always say that, but I know that I do believe in karma. So I do believe in those kind of things, that what you put out is what you get back. So I think I get up every morning with that I do think, If you don't put shit out, you won't get shit back.
I think I also believe the same.
Yeah.
Do you find it easy to be vulnerable?
I think it's difficult these days. I think most of us put a front because we have to survive in a world, that you have your show face and you have your real face. So I think it is not so easy anymore. But luckily, as I'm running my own shop and I'm in the shop and I have lots of conversations with lots of people.
Yes, including me.
Yeah. So you do get used to showing people more about who you are.
I want to know a little bit more about your background.
I grew up conservative. Both my parents were Christians. I was born in 1966, so I think it was a different world. But we weren't allowed very freedom. We were forced to do a lot of things we didn't want to do, and there was rules and in the end, but also then freedom in the sense of. My father got angry once a year and then the whole house stood still, but otherwise we were actually allowed a lot of freedom. And my father was Dutch, so I also think the fact that I didn't grow up in a completely, that there was almost freedom in that, in culture and those kind of things. So I think it was a good, happy household. And I think also the fact that I had both parents, is also something that, do you have a father figure, and those kind of things also helps a lot later in life, Yeah.
I didn't grow up with a mother and father. My mom is a single parent. And I think there's some of the lessons, just observing her, just playing a role of being a father and being a mother has really showed me or taught me certain lessons.
Yeah.
Having both parents, what have you learned from it?
Well, I think, my sister, she would always say, just the fact that you can see that there is two people living together and they are happy gives you hope for the future, that you can also find another person. But in the end, most of us are actually we're very defined. All my siblings and me, we didn't follow any rules. So we had then that, that our minds was almost, so even though there was boundaries in how you must live your life kind of thing, there was also freedom in the sense of that you can do anything you want to do. So we were never actually really told that we had to do certain things and had to go to university or have to do this. We could have almost do whatever we wanted to. So there was freedom in that sense. Yeah. And I think a dad is just, as a woman, your dad just gives you something, like a male figure that you look up to kind of thing, And my parents were very happily married. We were sort of accessories to their marriage. We weren't really the main part.
Sure.
We were the secondary. They were together and then we were there. So and then that was also good, that is actually the main aim, is that their partnership, and then we came second.
Okay, so I want to talk about God, and what is your perception of God? What is your belief? Maybe we should start.
Yeah, I always say, and it might sound very hectic, that I don't really believe in God at all. That I think I believe in self-salvation. Okay. That I never waited for anything. I was a Christian. I grew up in a Christian home. Yeah. Then I went completely to the others, in a conservative Christian, conservative Christian, to the happy clappy side of Christianity. Yeah. That's Holy Ghost and all those kind of things. Yeah. And then I went almost a bit conservative again. And then somewhere in my early 50s, I just thought, nothing. So I've been almost, I can say, atheist for a long time. I do believe in good and bad. Okay. I won't say good and evil. I say good and bad. And I do think, that karma. I believe in karma. That what you put out, you will get back. But I really believe in that. I'm the only person that can save myself. So nobody's going to come and save me. I'm saving myself. Yeah. So I'm not waiting for God or for a man or for a child or for, I don't know what, anything to come and save me. I'm saving myself. Sure. So that is and it is tough. I mean, I'm not saying it's easy, but I think too many people think, oh, God must come and help me. And then they don't do anything. I think you have to first look at yourself and save yourself. Yeah. And even if you then still believe in God, then He can help you. But save yourself first.
Before you call on God.
I think I say to myself, I feel sorry for God because there's so many people waiting for Him.
And that just start
that
demanding
He must just
stuff.
think you, these bloody humans.
Yeah.
But that's just my thing, I think there is an entity, perhaps all of us together is God, all human. There's definitely energy. I think there is energy. And there's good energy and there's bad energy between people. And your own gut is perhaps your best thing you can follow. And so it's to really know yourself. And within that frame, try to do the best you can. Yeah.
Speaking about knowing yourself, at what age did you start accepting the kind of person that you are?
I think it's tricky. I think as a woman, I think our DNA is your DNA. I think everything comes back to your DNA. Okay. And I've seen a few programs on it that what your ancestry did is affecting a lot of your own life. So if, say, my great-great-grandfather went through some stress, that I even pick it up in my DNA years later. And then my father and my grandfather went through my grandfather went through the First World War and the Second World War in Europe, and my father went through the Second World War in Europe.
Sure.
And I think that anxiety you then get.
You carry it.
Yeah. So I think it is, you have to know what your ancestry is and what they went through.
What do you think is the purpose of human experience?
Human experience. I just think all of us must do the best we can. Yeah. That, you know, sadly, I spoke to an older lady yesterday just passing the shop. And I say the biggest thing we face is that it's just too many. There's too many of us. And in 2050, they say we're going to be 10 billion. So I think our biggest thing is that we must be less. There must be less humans. Because otherwise we will destroy everything in our path. So I think that is the biggest thing we can do. That I will sometimes joke, and it is a joke, that I say we definitely need another war, that we can kill a few.
Sure, so that we can...
I will also sometimes say I'm not human friendly. I would say, but I also say it as a joke. But I also think we really are taking up too much, and we are destroying too much. So that's my biggest thing on humanity, is that we must really be more conscious of what we do and destroy less in our path and breed less.
Breathe less.
Breed less. So that is what I'm thinking.
When it comes to dying, what is your take? What do you think happens when we die?
See, I think I'm just going to rot. Yeah.
That's it? Then what
and I'm quite
happens
happy with not having an afterlife. I think, you know, perhaps I will be surprised. Perhaps I will be the one fooled when I die, you know. And I would also sometimes say, that's also a joke, so let me just say that, you know, because people might be shocked when I say it, but I say, or sometimes to people, I'm going straight to hell and I'm happy.
Why?
Because I don't really believe in it, you know, because I don't really believe there's an afterlife. So I say that to people, but I'm saying it in a sense of that I really actually don't. I think your DNA is what carries you, you know, if you have children, that DNA is going to go next to whatever.
I see.
But my own life and everything, I think, will just disappear when I die. But I think it gives a lot of people a sense of, you know, but I also think this life is the most important. This very moment, this life, now is everything. And I think if we keep on thinking of what's going to happen after we die, I think it's not as important as what is happening now, this very moment. And what you can at this very moment do to make your life and other people's lives better. And not to think one day in heaven we're going to have the perfect life. I think we must start creating that perfect life here, now. This very moment. And not wait for it to happen. I mean, too many people put their expectations there, and then they're not investing in their own life. They think, this is a shit day and I'm having a shit life and everything is shit and I'm poor and there's nothing here, but I will go to heaven.
Sure.
And I think it's a waste. Rather change everything around you now and perhaps rot.
Are you afraid of dying?
I think we'll all be afraid. I think 2 seconds before you die, you're going to be very afraid. And I think everybody will be. I think we all will probably think that we won't, but I think we all have a fear of dying. But sadly, or not sadly, perhaps happily, we're all going to die. And I sometimes say to people, perhaps the best thing that's going to happen to you is you're going to die. Perhaps it's not the worst thing that's going to happen. You know, especially if you've been a bit sick and stuff, perhaps it's the best thing that's going to happen. You know, if you hear people dying of cancer, you think, I think it's the best thing that could have happened. You know, and I think it's also so I think we must take but I think we all will be fearful. I think it is I don't think it's something that, because of, I think really your DNA carries a lot of knowledge. And I think all the people that have died before you, as you have their things with you, you know.
Sure.
Yeah, so you have, you know, the only way we probably could work with the fear thing is that if we die without fear, and then perhaps your children will start feeling less fear. But I don't know. Yeah, so.
What has been your biggest loss?
Loss, okay, I've lost both my parents already. So I think it is, you know, it's something that it's not easy, you know, but then also it makes you stronger. And they both have good deaths, you know, they could have suffered. I think we must allow people to die quicker, you know, that we don't prolong suffering.
Sure.
And I think the best thing, so it's about loss, so it is very hard. But it's also then sometimes not as hard as you think, you know, it's sometimes not that hard also. You know, because I always think it is almost a blessing that my parents died, and they died without suffering, and they could have lived. I have a lot of clients and things that have parents in their 90s that were almost not even knowing that they were alive anymore, but they were still, you know, so I think we must allow ourselves to die and not be so afraid of it. And I think I'm very pro that if you get to a certain stage in your life, that you almost can commit, you know, like assisted suicide and those kind of things. I think I will be, you know, especially as a single person and not having my own children, I don't want to be one day be a dependency, you know. Yeah. So I think, and a lot of people that I know are also thinking that if your quality of life is not good anymore, that you can have a choice to take your own life.
What has been the most painful experience that you've ever been through?
Painful? Yeah. I think the death of my parents has been very painful. Because in a moment when I heard that my father died, it really felt like your whole foundation just falls under, you know, because I think having a strong father figure, you do, as a woman, put, you know, there is security there. Yeah. And so I think you immediately feel your whole foundation just falls away. Yeah. But it's also, it makes you stronger, you know, in the end of the day, it just makes you stronger, you know? Sure. Yeah. So I think I'm probably tougher, but my own toughness I've created, you know? Yeah. And it is to really rely on yourself. And so the painful, I would say it is definitely those, yeah. And then I might cry my heart out the day my cat dies. You know?
Sure, you just don't know.
19 years later, you know? Yeah. And I think rejection is definitely, as a woman, when you've been rejected, it is also very painful. Yeah. But it makes you only stronger, and it's to really stand in your own value, and not to rely on anybody else to value you, but to value yourself enough that you are enough. Yeah. That you actually don't need anybody else to come and fill a space, you know? Yeah.
What is your view on artificial intelligence?
I think, I've watched a lot of things on it, and I'm also reading, and I'm also listening to what a lot of people say. I just bought a book that says that's never going to happen, because their brains will never be our brains, but... And then one documentary I watched said we must just hope they're going to like us, because you know, they are going to be more clever than us. Sure. I think it can make our lives just easier. There's going to be a time that's going to make our lives much easier, and then they can take over. Sure. And we can just become the workforce, you know, or they can just kill us all. But we'll see, sure. You know, because they definitely, I think they can learn things quicker. Our brains are very primitive, and they say we evolve very slowly. And the only way we're going to actually keep up with them is to become half computer, half human.
What is your spiritual practice, Ella?
I do get up early in the morning, and I do need time on my own before I face other people. Okay. So I do feel I have to first deal with my own shit before I deal with other people's shit. So I think I need time on my own. Yeah. I need time, but I don't really. I don't pray. I mean, I I just feel you have to reflect and see where you're at and see how you can improve on that. Yeah. So I do have to, I spend like, you know, I don't really, I try to meditate, but I don't really meditate. I think it is good. I think it will be good. Yeah.
Any fears?
Fears. I think I've dealt with a lot of fears. I think, like I always say, the biggest fear is that aloneness, and I have dealt with it more and more. And then fear of death, fear of not being successful, fear of not having money. I think is a big one for most people. Is that if you can't, you can't pay the bills, that kind of thing. I think it's a reality. I think money is. I think most of us. Biggest thing. As soon as you have a day with no sales, you immediately start panicking, think not knowing where the next money is going to come from. But I also believe in, I believe in abundance. I believe in, which is also my bit airy-fairy, I would say. But I think you can claim abundance, and you can stand in it, and you can say, I deserve it. And I really believe, I think it's just one of Dr. Phil's things, but life rewards action. Is one of my sisters, I really believe that you have to get up, you have to do something, and life will reward you. And I also claim that. If I do something, I'm saying, So I don't really believe in God, but I'm thinking, whatever is out there, you must bloody come and meet me.
Because I'm halfway.
Because I've done my
job.
Yeah. So perhaps I do, but I won't. I don't pray, but I do demand. I do demand that whatever like the karma thing, if I put it in, I have to start getting results. Something.
Are you living up to your purpose?
Like I think, it's a very basic thing that I do. I make clothes and I dress people. I would say, you could always be more, but for me it's just to at least earn enough that I can, have a content life. And I think it's a fine balance but I don't want more, and I don't believe in perfection. So I'm actually happy to settle for, So
we're done.
Okay, cool.
Done did it.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Ella, for agreeing to sitting down with me and sharing your life experience, sharing your view on life, and just your take and sharing yourself.
It's a big pleasure to do it. It's also, I think, easy to do it. Because I think there's always more diversity within what you say, but that is what comes up first. Yes. That I might tonight think, I could have rather said that, or I could have rather said that.
No, I've learned a lot, and you've changed a lot of views on my life, and I think I'm very grateful to have known you.
Oh, sweet.
You've got such a beautiful energy.
Like I say, it is to help others also to get where they want to be,
Thank you. Yay! I want a hug.
Make us who we are. Things that bring us down, the darkness and the night that we carry. Conversation.